It has to be a really interesting job going over CCTV footage looking for anything unusual. Perhaps looking for evidence to solve a crime, or just checking things out only to find the cameras picked up something from beyond the grave. Does the electric eye somehow pick up things that the human eye doesn't see? It sure seems like it. With that said, check out these 5 ghosts caught on CCTV cameras. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. With that being said, let's begin. Number 5. Ghosts of Japan's 2011 tsunami victims. Several taxicab drivers throughout the coastal town of Ishinomaki in northeast Japan are reporting something terrifying. According to the news agency called Asahi Shimbun, at least 7 different cab drivers have told almost exactly the same story. After picking up certain passengers in Ishinomaki, the drivers claim that these clients responded very strangely when asked for their destination, but when they turned to look at them, they were gone. The most unsettling aspect of these stories is the location where the phantom fares are appearing. Ishinomaki is one of the areas heavily devastated by the earthquake and tsunami which struck Japan in 2011, killing nearly 16,000 people. Over 100 taxi drivers were interviewed by sociology student Yuka Kudo as part of a research project on strange phenomena in the years following the disaster. Among those interviewed, 7 described their experience with the ghost riders in detail, and all of their stories were eerily similar. One of the interviewees said that he'd picked up a young woman near Ishinomaki Station, who then asked him to take her to the district of Minamihama. This struck the man as odd, because that area was almost completely abandoned. When he asked if she was really sure she wanted to go there, he got a chilling response. "Have I died?" the woman asked him. When the driver turned to look, his passenger had disappeared. Post-disaster Tohoku came to be overpopulated with ghosts, with multiple reports of sightings. This, some believe, was inevitable, as the tsunami took the lives of so many people unprepared to relinquish their worldly attachments. Ghost stories were common. A dead woman would visit old friends in their temporary housing and sit down for a cup of tea, leaving dampness on the cushion she was imagined to have been sitting on. A taxi driver would pick up a man asking to be taken to an address that no longer existed, only to find halfway through the journey that the passenger in the rear seat was invisible. Number 4. Ghost Train. Staggering alleged CCTV footage which appears to show a ghostly train pulling into a platform has gone viral online. The historic footage was said to have been recorded this month at Baotou railway station in China. As we previously mentioned, sometimes CCTV footage has to be looked at for whatever reason. When the station's security was watching the surveillance cameras, they noticed this ghost train pull into the station and stop as if it was picking up passengers before leaving. Millions of people believe in ghosts across the globe, but there's no scientific evidence that they actually exist. They suggest we have a soul that lives on after we die and can somehow be trapped in this world as an energy. There appears to be no explanation as to why material objects such as trains or ships would continue their journeys as ghosts after being destroyed. However, sometimes a ghost or two can be seen around railways, as we see in the second clip. In the footage, a man is walking with a small child when suddenly a black shadow appears behind him. It seems to follow him and the child as they approach the railway. As the man steps down off the concrete ledge, the creepy shadow figure follows him closely, and then seems to become one with the man as he picks up the child. Then, suddenly, and without reason, the man stops to turn and look behind him as if he felt something there. The man looks for a moment and turns around, seemingly as if he felt the presence of some being following him. Looking left and right and seeing nothing, he then moves across the train tracks. Could this have been some ghost warning the child and the father not to cross the train tracks? Number 3. School Ghosts. For some students, the scariest part of school is homework. But students at Deer Park CBS in Cork have something a little scarier to deal with. A ghost. Footage from the school's CCTV shows lockers slamming shut and books flying through the air. Deer Park CBS, the school in Cork, Ireland, obtained footage from its security cameras at 3 a.m. on the night of October 1st. The video, which has already racked up over 500,000 views on YouTube, shows what appears to be an invisible specter having a teenage temper tantrum in the hallway. It slams a door, shakes up lockers, and kicks over a wet floor sign, much like the deranged spirit of a student who's doomed to spend eternity repeating the same math class. The school's deputy principal, Aaron Wolf, said that the footage wasn't doctored at all and that, quote, if it's a prank, we don't know how it was done. Motion sensors were set off at the time, that's how it was caught. Still, there are ghostly factors at play. Deer Park CBS was founded way back in 1828, making it the oldest school in Southside Cork. Generations of children have grown up in these classrooms, and it stands to reason some may remain after death. Staff have been left thoroughly spooked after CCTV footage captured an inexplicable and spine-tingling incident, which took place in a seemingly deserted corridor. In a scene straight out of Paranormal Activity, eerie flashes of light can be seen, following a thunderous bang. The light appears to flicker from behind a closed door, although its source is not clear. Events start to escalate rapidly when a heavy set of lockers begins rocking back and forth violently. A single locker door swings open forcefully, spewing books and papers all across the floor. The footage ends with a wet floor sign being knocked over aggressively as if it's been kicked. Could this be the spirit of a mischievous pupil wanting to cause teachers further irritation from the afterlife? To make things stranger, the footage was taken just after 3 a.m. on Sunday, the 1st of October. There would have been nobody at the school at this time. The head discussed how this isn't the first time unexplained happenings have been reported at Deer Park CBS. He says, our caretakers worked in the school for over 30 years. He recalls many stories of paranormal activity. Since the strange incident, the staff have received numerous phone calls from people claiming the school is haunted by ghosts of deceased pupils from the past. Number 2. Night crawlers. Fresno, California might not always be the most exciting place in the world, but they have one claim to fame that's out of this world. The Fresno Nightcrawler sightings began back in the 1990s, and have only occurred a few times since then. These strange beings are cryptids that look like pants, but are only a few feet high and just wandering through the street. There are only a few eyewitnesses in Fresno, but they do pop up on surveillance cameras, startling whoever has the misfortune to check the tapes the next day. Much video footage of cryptids is easily debunked by video analysis, but the weird thing about the Nightcrawlers is that the videos seem to be legit. As goofy and awkward as these mysterious creatures may appear, faking them would prove to be a difficult task. So then, what exactly are we seeing here? No one's entirely sure. Ghosts? Aliens? A possessed pair of pants? One of the weirdest alien hoaxes ever concocted? We may never know. But the facts about the Fresno Nightcrawlers we do know are enough to leave anyone scratching their head. It was sometime in the 1990s, or the 2000s depending on who you ask, that the Nightcrawlers first began to emerge. One night, a family in Fresno, California decided to set up a security camera above their garage, because they often heard their dogs barking at night. Perhaps it was a burglar. Perhaps it was a strange animal. What they saw the next day was enough to shock them into calling the police. The footage showed a pair of small, strange creatures only a few feet in height. They walked almost surreally across the screen, and the family figured it was these things that had caused their dogs to bark so much. Neither the family nor the police could figure out what these creatures were. Soon, the media got a hold of the footage, and the Fresno Nightcrawlers were all the rage. The family decided they wanted to remain anonymous so as to avoid the supernatural spotlight. One of the prevailing theories about these creatures is that they're aliens. They may move like people sometimes, but they're too small and move too awkwardly to be human. They don't resemble any known terrestrial creatures either. It stands to reason then that they may not be of this planet. This also raises yet another interesting question though, as to why they're here. They don't seem to be stealing anything or want to do anyone any harm, and they've yet to abduct any person or animals that we know of. So are they here to study us then? Because they're not traveling alone, and some of the creatures appear to be smaller than the others. Perhaps it's merely a family vacation to Fresno. As unlikely as that might sound, that is still one theory as to why the Nightcrawlers are visiting us. True, they've never been accompanied by UFOs, but the alien hypothesis is still a popular one. One of the more interesting answers to many Nightcrawler questions actually has to do with a local Native American legend. According to tribe members that live near Fresno, the Nightcrawlers are beings that have pretty much always lived on Earth, even before human beings got there. According to these myths, the Nightcrawlers have long legs that allow them to move through difficult or boggy landscapes because they're swamp world beings. Duh. The beings are part of our world now in order to rebuild the connection between human beings and our natural surroundings as a sort of a peace bringer. While they don't seem to have made any noticeable efforts of doing this so far, the fact that stories about them have existed for generations indicates that they might be nothing new to Fresno. Number 1. The Unknown Ghost. Some people have CCTV cameras in their house for security in case something happens, such as a break-in and a robbery. But this camera in a family's home seems to have picked up a lot more than just an earthly intruder. In fact, this family is now convinced their home is haunted after an eerie, mysterious entity was captured on their CCTV system. The creepy footage at an undisclosed location was uploaded to social media websites, causing speculation about the afterlife. Everything appears normal as a woman passes through the living room to the kitchen, but as she moves out of shot, a small, alleged phantom seems to appear in the bottom left of the screen. It moves from right to left before disappearing again. The woman who captured the footage at home is convinced it shows a ghost. The footage has since been shared on Reddit, with many people speculating it could be a ghost. There's no scientific proof of ghosts, but as one of the most popular paranormal beliefs, tens of thousands of people across the globe are convinced that some of us live on after death, and energies from these spirits can be captured on camera. Hope you enjoyed the video, Top 5ers. If you haven't already, check out our other channel, The Brilliant, to enjoy even more amazing list videos. There will be a link in the description, so make sure you go check that out as well.